This is a Florida Golden Girl. Today's travel adventure takes me to the town of Winter Garden. Right across the street where the living are playing golf, where all the rich folk are. Today we're going to be visiting Palm Cemetery. So the interesting thing about Palm Cemetery is a lot of well-to-do people that live in Lake Meriwether Park are buried here, including a few famous people. So immediately when I come to the first gravestone, this gentleman died in 1929, and his name is Rob Thompson. Now, the grave of Alvin Pulaski, a very famous sculptor, is buried here. Another gentleman is the founder of Stuckey's. And so you have someone here who enjoyed flying. I guess he may have worked for NASA, and they were married for 55 years. She died in 2021, but he's still alive. Pretty headstone. Oh, and look at all the lions. So, lots of prominent people here. So you have Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. Lots of doctors are going to be buried here. Now, I've not done any research on where the famous ones are buried. I mean, I can only tell you about Alvin Pulaski and his two wives, but I'm sure if something. So here you have another doctor. So his name is Dr. Golden. So lots of old, lots of new graves here. I hate to be mean about this, but their practices are a few miles away. They live in the area and then they die here. God, isn't that horrible when you think about it? It's an above ground grave, and you know anybody that's got that type of money is going to want something nice. And then you've got Ransom. Now, we've been to a few pioneer cemeteries where the name Ransom is prominent. And then you've got him, he's a Mason. Sandy out. And then you've got Green. So he is a doctor of dentistry. Rich folks are going to be buried amongst their kind with other rich folk. That's a World War I veteran. I love this cemetery. Isn't this cute? Lots of historic stuff. Edith Gaffney, mother of General Dale Gaffney, U.S. Air Force. Oh, okay. Now I have, so he's a general and he's an Air Force general. Now, why did they feel that they had to add that she was the mother of General Gaffney? General Gaffney's not buried here anywhere. I looked that up. So, is it that her only claim to fame? I mean, did she not have a life of her own? I don't understand sometimes. She lived not a full life, but sometimes you do things in your own life, and regardless of whether you're famous or not, you don't need to. You're a human being in your own right. You know what I'm saying? You could have done things that may not have required the status of being a famous general, but that doesn't matter. So World War I veteran. Just a food for thought. I mean, that's okay. That she's proud of her son, and So there's some early graves here. He died in 27, and then she died much later. I don't know if they were husband and wife, brother or sister or what. So I am with my sidekick today, and so I figured I'd ask a quick sidekick question. Hey, sidekick. So what do you think of the cemetery so far? Knowing how cool it is that all the rich folk are playing right across the street, and if something happens, they can just scoot them over here.
Well, I don't think this is a very nice cemetery because all the graves are all like crunched up together. Look how they're not spaced out. They're just like piled on top of one each other.
You know?
It's just weird. It's just they're just like
it's
just like, look, it's just like right next to each other.
Land in Winter Park is at a premium because they're going to squeeze as much space as they can as possible. You are right about that.
They're all like squeezed in.
Yep. Lots of famous people. Yeah, that's fine. So my sidekick, he's just being my bodyguard today. So they died in 1940. I mean, it's got a dirt road, but you know, this is still rich folk territory.
Yeah, out of all the cemeteries we've seen, I mean, you know, it wasn't like that.
Right. So here's an O'Brien one. You have a Chas Birch here, who died in 1926. So we're gonna, I mean, it's not a real super large cemetery. You've got some mausoleums that are kind of spread out. And once we do a walk around, we'll do a drive around, just so you can see what it looks like from a distance. Ellis Faust, and then Neoma Faust. So it is a nice day out, and I hope everyone's having an enjoyable day. Has time gone by quickly or what? See in the distance? What are your feelings about a golf course next to a cemetery? I mean, maybe some people, and here's the famous dirt road, maybe some people don't care about that. I just think it's in poor taste is just my personal opinion. Where, why the hell would you do something like that? These are some older graves here, folks. You can just tell the looks of them. So this is Fanny Giles, and died in 1951. And that's all Giles family. There's a Giles there. 1926, Rosetta died, and then William died in 1944. And then, what is this? Oh, Stewart. Oh, on that bright immortal shore we shall meet to part no more. I like that. That's kind of cool. And then there's no I mean, anybody can come in. I mean, That's the one thing. They won't family of William Pope. They're not going to desecrate graves. So you have the Reverend Rower. You got... Yeah, see, that's a road right there. That's New York Avenue. And then look at, you got the nice houses over there. It's pretty. See, you could say, how interesting, you could safely film rich folk houses and there's nothing they can say or do because you're on a public sidewalk or whatever. Now this is interesting. It's kind of cool. It is a above ground grave. It's not a mausoleum. If there's mausoleums, they're few and far in between. And so, Kenneth Houston Kraft. So this is the Kraft family. So they're prominent in some way. See that? Unless it's stackable, 1, 2, 3, 4 would be what would be my yeah, Maud and George. He died in 37 and then she died in 57. My poor sidekick. He does get bored at times. Bless his heart. Ladies, if you got a really good husband, treat him well. Treat him well, because you got a lot of old rich folk out there that will snap him up. Okay, look at this. Did you see this?
Oh, it's a general.
Yeah, General Marie Paul Fan Hoa Het.
Vietnamese.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
So my sidekick's gonna look that up.
I think he's Vietnamese. Korean.
No, not Korean. So General Hoa Het. I know we're butchering that name. So it's a man.
No, hold on, that's not him. Yeah, there it is right there.
So he was a Vietnamese general.
There it is.
Oh, but it's in Vietnamese. Well, he was a Vietnamese general.
Hold on.
So he must have been somebody that immigrated to this country, and that's fine. Don't worry about it. So, and then you've got Birchmeier. So, when I was telling you about if you have a good man, you do what that's really good to you. You treat him well. Because there's plenty of fish out there that would do nothing but have no qualms in trying to steal your partner. Okay? And I have an example. So my mother, we moved her into a nursing home 2008. Yeah, 2008. No, 2010. So when you're talking about the population, there's more females than there is males. Okay? Now, you have men out there that will take it, that clearly took advantage of the situation. And the local Lothario, he was Hungarian, never met him. And there was this lady, an Italian lady, that her and my mother just, they got along, but then when it came to, the guy kind of favored the Italian lady. And I think what it was is that this guy was getting things from the Italian lady. Like her family would buy him gifts, and they had been kind of what you call going out, you know, for a while. I don't know what that time frame is. Well, you know, my mother was jealous because she wanted him as a boyfriend. She wanted a boyfriend. Now, one of the things that I notice is that when people get older, especially in their 70s and 80s, and live in a nursing home, it's a clique. It's, you know, you got the old people clique, where if somebody has this, I want to have that too. You know, or Mary Jane's got a nice backpack or a nice sweater, and her daughter did this, and I want one too. Schweitzer. So, now, me and my mother never got along, and she was one of the reasons why I left home, because of the life's choices she made. So, but that didn't mean that I've never disrespected my mother. I was making good money, and was able to give her the things she wanted. You know, I would send her a $100 gift card so she could go to Walmart once a month and get, you know, clothes and makeup and small things for her refrigerator. My brother made sure she had a refrigerator and a nice TV and a phone. I got her phone, and that, you know, that she was taken care of, because they pretty much will take, if you move to a nursing home, they're going to take everything. You're allowed no assets, nothing but $30 a month. So, because it all is supposed to go to the nursing homes. And let me tell you, where she was at, she lived in Pacific, Missouri, and that thing was a dump. They moved her so many times because she never could get along with anybody. But going back to the boyfriend. So my mother, one day I called and she says, "Oh, I got a boyfriend." What the hell do you mean you got a boyfriend? So evidently she was dating, having you know, they weren't doing anything. I mean, what can you do? I mean, all they did was hold hands and peck on the cheek or whatever, you know. But evidently in the past, this dude was caught in other women's rooms trying to do the nasty. And so, so I warned my brother about what was going on. So one day, so that caused a rift between her and the Italian lady. And my mother didn't care. My mother really, you know, she's at the point she didn't care. You know, if she wanted the man, she's gonna get the man. Now, when my mother was young, she was beautiful, no doubt about it. But you ain't, you know, you gotta face it. When you get older, you just don't look the way you used to when you were younger. Now, mind you, there's many women today that if you've got the money and you can afford it, that you do what you do, you know, you want to whatever, fine. So one day he asked her for a new TV because he thought she had money. And so this is Smith. And so Michael Smith, and he asked her for a new TV. And she said, "What are you talking about? I ain't getting you no new TV." Because he says, "Well, you're rich. You got this nice refrigerator, and you always have have this or you have that, and you got a refrigerator, you got food, you know, you let me use your phone, blah blah blah." And she said, I have no money, you know, no. And so you want to know what he did? He dumped her. And he went back to the Italian lady. He went back to the Italian lady. And I don't know if they ever stayed together, because this is just stuff that played out through the years. And so my mother, then it just seemed as though after the guy went back, you know, she rubbed it in my mother's face. Oh, he came back to me, blah blah blah, because he knew you weren't the best for him, or, you know, just some high school crap like that, right? And they just never could get along. So they had to move her. They had to move her to another wing. He was World War II in Korea, so he was a career officer. Look at how old he was. He lived a long life. Okay. So this is Brown Land done. Okay. So, oh, look at this. You gotta be kidding me. So, so this is, and then I'm going in, so this, I don't know if this is, so it's, so he was a doctor of divinity, doctor of medicine, fellow Royal Economic Society of London, director, International Institute of Science of Arts, Paris, author of books on leadership, civilization, something, ideas and prophecies, executive, chairman, International Committee of New Educational Movement, founder, president of the Lansdowne Foundation, Winter Park, Florida. So I'm going to go back. Doctor of Divinity, Doctor of Medicine, fellow Royal Economic Society of London, director, International Institute of Science of Arts in Paris, author of 100 books on leadership, civilization, and prophecies. So yeah, so he's a famous guy. Wow, very cool. Brown Lansdowne, born in 1847, passed on October 1945. Age 98 years, 7 months, 4 days. See that? Yeah, that's kind of cool. So it's one guy. Be interesting to know more about this person. He lived quite a life. You know, being an author and everything. That's pretty cool. Look at that. So he lived in Winter Park and was a prominent individual. I told you a lot of doctors and rich folk live here. So you have the Wiggins, sidekick in the background. And so let's go over here to see this dedication marker. So this was, so this is a dedication to respectfully pay tribute to all branches of the armed forces, past, present, and future. Very good. And that's an old gun right there. Looks like they're getting ready to bury somebody. I tell you, we covered all of that over there. And we really have more to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into a 2-part vlog. That way I can give you the full benefit of this area. Now, you've heard me make fun of the rich folk and everything, but look, you know, if you got the money to live well, you're going to do what you're going to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody, you know, makes the choices in life on how they want to live, whether you want to throw your life away or you want to do something constructive with it. Many did a lot of things, but no matter what the life you live, before you leave this earth, you make sure that you leave it right. And I'll talk about that in our next vlog. I want to thank you for watching, folks. Stay tuned for part 2.